Hey, good morning and good afternoon from the East Coast. I'm your host, Tony Twistis, ATW All Things Wrestling Podcast, and joined by Miss Mo out
What's
of
up,
the
people?
NYC, New York City, representing the Culture 316 podcast. How you doing this morning or this afternoon?
I'm doing pretty good, pretty great actually. How about
Yeah.
you?
I'm doing all right. Running a little behind this morning, but it's all good. I was waiting on my coffee, and I got to have a routine when I'm doing my morning. I know it's already afternoon over there. You already been to the gym and,
Yeah,
all kinds of shit over there. I'm just, my days, I was rolling around in bed for like 2 hours. So,
I wish I could do that. My body will not allow me to do that.
right.
Like once I'm up, I have to be up in like 10 minutes. Otherwise, I don't know, my whole day feels like it's off.
Well, my weekends are for that. During the week, I'm up at like 5:30, like every day, Monday through Friday.
Brutal.
Well, it's not really that bad. But
why
it's getting darker earlier and earlier, and the sun's coming up later and later. So I'm starting to like wake up a little later because like the light's not coming in through the window. But I keep my room like a cave, like really dark. That's the only way I can sleep. Really cold and really dark.
Okay, so I'm not the only person that does that because I'll do this thing where I like to have the window open or have the AC booming, but I need like 3 blankets on me to go to sleep.
Oh no, I can't. I can't sleep with. I barely sleep with one blanket. Sometimes I don't sleep with that. I get real hot when I'm sleeping.
Nope, not I. I'm anemic, so I'm always cold.
Oh, I'm always on fire. I'm always like I must run like hotter than most normal people. So, anyways, let's talk about what we're here to talk about: wrestling. It's been an interesting last couple of weeks. Last week I was traveling for work. I didn't get to make it back. We kind of had like a fun show. It was actually somebody had brought it to my attention like a week before the show. Like, hey, it's your 1 year anniversary. I was like, oh shit. Wasn't really planning anything for that.
Congratulations, by the way.
Yeah, thank you.
We're on a vacation, you're gonna celebrate. Where are we going?
I ain't going nowhere. I'm going to work. I got a real busy. I would say the next 60 days for me for work is really, really busy, and then I'll take off like.
Yeah,
I'll probably take off. I'll take like a month off probably from work.
All right, that's fair enough. Yeah. You got any places in mind you would go to?
I don't know. During Christmas vacation and stuff for my kids, I may go somewhere, but I don't know. I'm just gonna enjoy. Hopefully the snow. It's nice and snowy, so that'll be nice.
That's good.
Because I live in Arizona, but I live in the mountains and it snows here. It's already getting cold tonight. It's supposed to be like 25 degrees. So
really,
yeah,
that's crazy. I couldn't. I absolutely couldn't. I could barely with New York weather. I know. I hate the winter for that exact reason. Because again, the bitch is already anemic. I cannot survive underneath anything beneath 50. I cannot survive. I can't. I won't do it.
Really?
I don't want to do it. No.
I think you're in the wrong place then, because New York gets cold as hell.
I know. I hate the winter. I despise it. I get so cold that my hands turn blue. People don't understand how cold I physically get. I cannot.
Wow.
But I love New York. So it's I can't see myself moving at least in my 20s anywhere else.
Right. Well, You got time. You're young. Yeah. But let's talk about somewhere a little warmer. That's going to be our guest that's on today. He is from the Circle of Debate podcast. We love these guys. These guys always showing us love in the chat. We love these guys. Ivan and the crew, the Wrestling DeLorean podcast, all these guys. But let's bring them in straight out of Los Angeles. Good morning. How are you doing, man?
Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate you guys this lovely Sunday morning. But we're here.
Now I gotta admit, I love when you're in the chat because Ivan and I don't always see eye to eye. We got a lot of good back and forth going on from the chat.
Oh, this is gonna be fun.
So this time we got Ivan in the studio. I think Ivan, the last time he was on with us, he came on at the tail end of our show, so we didn't really get to chat. But he's officially the guest today. Welcome, Circle Debate.
Thank you.
Let's get it on. But hey, something that's really funny, the news story that popped up over the last couple of days, Ric Flair. Joe Rogan calling out Ric Flair. if you know Joe Rogan, he's not a big fan of pro wrestling. He's had his, shit talking about pro wrestling back in the day, whatever. But this is what Joe Rogan said. He said a figure 4 leg lock is something you'll never see in a fight or competition. It doesn't work in the real world. It's the worst thing you could possibly do. Ric Flair said, the only way to resolve this is to have me on your show. I'll put you in a figure 4 leg lock, and we'll see if you can get out. He said, let's fucking go. Woo! So, Ric Flair's down. Joe Rogan's usually a pretty good sport about shit. I'm going to say Joe Rogan's going to have Ric Flair on, and I'm definitely watching that.
That's impressive. That would be really impressive if he could get Rick on. Not that, well, I mean, it's not that hard to book Rick nowadays because he's a little desperate, but that's still like an accolade to say you got a fucking legend like Ric Flair, because he could die any moment, any day. He's kind of like, he's testing it, all right? He's been testing it and testing himself with these last matches and shit. You might as well try to get him while he's still alive,
Right. So Ivan, what do you think? You think Ric Flair putting Joe Rogan in a leg lock, is he going to prove Joe Rogan wrong?
I mean, 4. Remind you that Joe Rogan is black belt in jiu-jitsu, and of course, he has his credentials in the world of mixed martial arts. Even though he's never stepped into the octagon, but he's trained with a lot of great fighters. So, I mean, maybe I would say maybe, but the figure 4 is not easy, to be honest. If you put pressure, it's not. I mean, I tried it out when I tried out for pro wrestling a while back. So, I mean, yeah, it's not an easy move to get out of. It's not. So,
right. Hold on, should he go all Charlotte Flair and do the figure 8?
That's if Ric Flair can bend that way backwards.
All you're gonna hear is cracking. Like all Joe Rogan has to do, right? With the way Joe Rogan's so like bulky and built, I just feel like he has to flex his muscles and he's gonna crack Ric Flair with his brittle behind bones.
If we didn't see Ric Flair die in the ring in his last match, he could die trying to put the figure 4 leg lock on Joe Rogan.
Oh my
god.
Well, aside from all that, Ric Flair, man, this guy, he doesn't want to ride off to the sunset. I think he should, but I mean, this dude just don't want to let go. He's talking about he could still wrestle some more matches.
Maybe not.
I don't know. I personally don't want to see that. This guy's way too old. I want to remember him from the WWE days and not this guy that might die in the ring somewhere. So anyways, I think that other big news that's coming out over the last couple of days, obviously, I don't know if either one of you guys caught NXT Halloween Havoc. I did not. But what I'm fascinated with is CM Punk possibly being bought out of his AEW contract and Triple H making a statement saying that they could bring him back to the WWE. Ivan, you're our guest. I want to know, what are your thoughts on this, man?
I mean, honestly, I am tired of wasting my time speaking about this man. Everything what he's done. It's been like, from the whole media scrum, not giving the attention to All Out of, that was a fantastic event. And we're giving the, our attention to this individual who is unappreciative of the fans that really were there to say, we'd love for you to come back. I get it. It's personal behind the scenes, but keep it personal. Keep it behind the scenes. Keep it that none of us see. Don't try to get that center of attention. And that's something that he did. And it's disgusting. It's just disgusting to me that he did that. And now, really, you want to get bought out because now your boy got fired. Ace Steel, now he's gone, and now you want to get bought out. They're trying to add a non-compete clause to it since they never do that in AEW because they're afraid that he will go to WWE for that reason. But if I were Papa H, I mean, I understand controversy brings business. Understand. However, though, he's a waste of time. I mean, him. If you don't want to be back, don't be back. Don't be back for professional wrestling then. I mean, you last year around this time you said, "Oh, I want to work with these guys, help them, develop and help develop AEW." A year later, you're talking shit. Nah, I rather why waste my time? Why? There's no reason to. I mean, right now this is going to be for me. My opinion once he's gone, he's bought out. I think that was the worst move that Tony Khan has ever done in AEW. I think it's the worst move he's done. Is bringing CM Punk back. At least he tried. At least he did it. But all that money for nothing, honestly. It was just a waste of time. I don't know why he decided to come back. If you don't love the sport, if you don't miss it, then why come back?
Right.
Let it be. Stay retired. Stay at home. Be with your family. Don't come over here and try to tease the fans. It's just a waste of time to me. I have a friend to go to WWE. I hope not. There's no point. For what? What legacy do you left over there?
Right.
High key, he kind of stole like most of the words out of my mouth because I've been fed up with this man shit. First of all, I feel like he came in too late. I feel like he should have came during the first All Out, and then I would have given a fuck. And I tried to hop on the bandwagon afterwards, like a few months afterwards. I'm like, all right, I appreciate him trying to put over new talent and work with new talent and stuff like that. He's trying, although I was kind of pissed. I'm just like, like you're kind of stealing a lot of TV time. Like there was times where CM Punk was coming on like 2-3 times in one night, and I'm like, all right, bro, like I get it, like what I mean. And it's just like I'm irritated with him because everything he's been complaining about in WWE, Tony Khan was nice enough to give him all of that, all the attention, all the press, all the merch, title runs, being booked in the main event and stuff like that. He booked his show around CM Punk, and I just thought that he handled that whole medium scrum situation in a very selfish manner, as Ivan just put it. Like, again, that was like a 14 fucking match pay-per-view. No one was talking about a damn thing from that besides Punk. We already went over how that scrum thing played out. And I just feel like, there's nothing else to really invest with Punk, keeping him around, because another issue with him is that he's made of fucking glass. All right. He had the belt twice. And I think how many days did he last as champion? Not even a week, because he keeps getting injured.
6 days, wasn't it?
Yeah,
6 days or some shit.
Yeah, it's just like he's old. He's brittle, made of fucking glass. He has a bad fucking attitude. He doesn't want to work well with people. He's clearly pressed because of the younger talent. He's a hothead. Like, I really can't believe all this happened because of Colt Cabana. Like, you know what I mean? It's crazy. It's just absolutely crazy to me that someone could give you everything. And I personally am not even a fan of CM Punk's like ring work. I'm more of a fan of like his in-ring personality. But the thing is that nowadays, and with the company he's in a company that's more based around the actual wrestling than the sports entertainment factor. And it's just like he's not even, in my personal opinion, delivering that much in the ring. So it's like if we're here for just that whole personality thing, we kind of have that all-in-one character with MJF. He's young, fresh, vibrant, great personality. He kind of gives you that edge that Punk gave you. So I just feel like all that shit you were investing with him, take all that shit, snatch that shit away, buy him out of his contract, give that to MJF, because that is the real workhorse of this company. That if I was TK, I'd be building around. So honestly, good riddance.
I would give that money to Jon Moxley. He's the one who's holding it down the forefront.
Yeah, that's
He's the one that is taking the pinfalls. He's the one losing the championships. And then being an intern might quote that, because it's ridiculous having an intern. But he's the one who should be getting paid. That's why Moxley signed the extension for a reason. Why Jericho signed it, because these two individuals took the initiative of, hey, you know what, we're going to be the leaders of this locker room. Let's turn this around. This negative environment to a positive environment, and that's what's the one thing is missing. Structure, leadership is what you're missing. And so Tony Khan thought that CM Punk will be that individual, but guess what? He's not. As he mentioned, he's selfish, and that's what he just did. So he was not that answer for that, locker room leadership. So.
Well, I have my own take on this, and while I don't disagree with you guys about Punk's attitude and his personality,
choose your words wisely, because this could be a handicap match real quick.
Oh, I'm planning on it. This is going to turn into a handicap match real quick. But I know here's a couple things, right? AEW is very, Mo, I know this is going to predate you a little bit, but Ivan's going to know what I'm talking about. AEW is reminding me a lot of WCW at the end. The inmates were running the asylum. They had ownership, they had leadership, but these guys, the wrestlers, were running roughshod over management, and owners, and that's why WCW, ultimately got bought out by Vince McMahon. I'm not saying that AEW is going to get bought out by WWE, but I'm saying that Tony Khan needs other people with him that are helping keeping these fucking guys in check, right? Because these guys all have egos. They all have big personalities. And, CM Punk may be a bit toxic, which I think people are probably getting from all of this. And he's probably always been that way. I think the problem I have with this story, because really it was a story that just kind of ran amok, right? I think the fans have a little too much access to backstage bullshit and drama, but that's all thanks to the internet, right? But it just shows that Tony Khan has no fucking control over his company, his wrestlers, the talent, nothing. They're making him look like a fucking idiot. Triple H is a good businessman. I don't care what issue or bullshit CM Punk left under. That was many, many years ago. Let's put it this way. If Hulk Hogan can go back to the WWE, if Bret Hart can make his way back, anybody can make their way back. There's no door closed on anybody. And why would you? Because it's good for business. Are you fucking kidding me? If CM Punk, I know he's injured right now, but we don't know the extent of his injury. We don't know all the seriousness of how injured he really is. If this fucking guy shows up as the number 29 entrant in the Royal Rumble, you're not telling me that people wouldn't lose their fucking shit if he showed up at the Royal Rumble? And it would be great. I already got a storyline written in my head. CM Punk versus Cody Rhodes at fucking WrestleMania. That match, if they build up where these guys both came back at the Rumble and one of them wins the Rumble or they both eliminate each other, there could be a big storyline there with Cody Rhodes being the former, executive over at AEW, fucking CM Punk basically shitting all over AEW. Like, there's money to be made there. Triple H knows it. And I'm sure that's why these guys are fucking chomping at the bit. And they could keep CM Punk in check. Unlike Tony Khan, I think this could be definitely a different run for CM Punk. I mean, who knows? Sit this fucking guy down, say, hey, you know what? We're not going to deal with your bullshit. If you want to come, we're going to throw you a shit ton of money, but you got to keep that shit in check, right? So I think this could be huge for WWE, and it would be really fucking shitty for Tony Khan and AEW, but they really don't have a choice. Tony Khan painted himself in a fucking corner. So, whatever happens. He's going to give CM Punk a fucking bag of money to say go away. Then he goes away. But I don't think CM Punk's going to go for that non-compete clause. I don't think so.
They're working on that. That's why their attorneys are the ones for that. And not only that, I mean, you mentioned about WWE, them going over there. Okay, I get your point. However, the attorneys are going to be extremely involved because CM Punk's attorneys are getting paid. They're the ones who are reviewing everything while CM Punk is just sitting in the back just waiting to get his demands. So his attorneys are doing everything for him right now. They're more getting the attention than CM Punk. Right? So
I'm not fully against your take. I'm not, because that's the only way he could save his ass and save his wrestling career at this point. Because we were expecting like a legendary run, someone to revitalize, CM Punk the way that fans envisioned him in when he was in WWE. So I think in the beginning, fans are going to try really, really hard to hate him and call him a sellout. There's definitely going to be sellout chants. There's definitely going to be AEW chants and shit when he first comes back. But I feel like you just said, you could flip it. You could definitely flip it and make him an anti-hero by the end of all this. And somehow, if you really want to make this a real war between AEW and WWE, because I still don't see it as much of a war, I feel like that would be the way and that would be the time. Because honestly, certain people just aren't meant for AEW. Cody Rhodes was not meant for AEW. He did not fit in there. It was like oil and water. If he wanted to be that John Cena character that he so desperately wanted to be, it was not going to happen in AEW. The fans. No,
I disagree though, because he did have a really good run, and at the end, I think the fans kind of turned on him. I think he was perfect for AEW, but I think it was perfect.
Annoying. I think it was. Stand him.
I think it was perfect for him at the time, though, because he needed to get out of that WWE shadow, right? He needed to break away from all that. And then by him going to, being a big proponent and getting AEW started. But I think the fans did get sick of him because Tony Khan, that goes to show the story writing, because they didn't really know how to capitalize on how the fans were kind of turning on him, and Cody was trying to force something. I think it was just timing, but I think it worked out just fine. And I think that's why when he showed up in WWE, I think that it was a perfect culmination for his career. And I think it worked out perfectly, in my opinion.
I somewhat respectfully disagree.
I mean, it was best for him, to be honest.
Yeah, I feel like the way things worked out perfectly, because I mean, I don't think he would have been nearly as over in WWE coming back had we not seen him in WWE. But like the way he wanted himself to be booked, and he wanted the fans to take him, because he didn't want to be a heel, and that's what the fans wanted.
Right.
The fans resented him because they wanted heel Cody Rhodes to come back, but he refused to, and they didn't like that biracial baby promo. That's when things really went off the hinges. And then, he was trying to throw his weight belt into the crowd and be a whole John Cena like character. They were throwing that shit back at him. They were making signs and stuff like that. Like, they resented him. And in his head, he wanted to be that big, and he was never going to be that big over there. Tony Khan kind of pick and chose who he wanted to have in those seats. It wasn't him, and the fans did not take that as him, so long as he's going to be a baby face. So I feel like it worked out for him. I do feel like it did work out for him coming back to WWE. That's the only way I feel like Punk could save himself, because he has a very bad reputation at this point, and I hate that for him. I didn't grow up being the biggest CM Punk fan, but I know the impact that he has on other wrestling fans. So I feel just a tad bit bad. He did to himself, but I do feel like just a tad bit bad, because that sucks that after 9 years, was it 7 years, 9 years or whatnot of not being in the ring, and you come back, and it only took 1 year for it to all be sabotaged because of poor decision making on your end, and being a hothead and having a bad temper. I feel like if he just wants to come back full circle, he needs to go back to WWE, but he also needs to work from the bottom up. He can't just go in there and get a Cody Rhodes like entrance. Cody deserved that. Cody deserved to come in and being pushed to the top. I don't give a fuck what nobody says. Punk, he needs to start from the bottom and work his ass up and prove to the fans why he deserves to be in the driver's seat. Because he didn't just disappoint AEW fans, he disappointed all of us wrestling fans universally with the way he handled that situation. Yeah. That's just my personal take.
I'm not saying give him a title shot. I'm just thinking if injuries, right? Cody's injured, CM Punk's injured. I think the timing could work out great. I think they could build an awesome storyline with Cody and Punk, right? So Cody comes back. He's one of the main events at WrestleMania. He has that over CM Punk, but CM Punk never headlined a WrestleMania. So there's a lot that can be built there. I think it would be fucking money. I think it would be huge. It would be a shot in the arm to WWE, because we keep seeing the same old Roman Reigns bullshit. Hopefully, going into 2023, we got a new champ somewhere, because I'm really sick of Roman Reigns being fucking champ.
Wait, can I interject about the CM Punk thing one more time? Can we have this one more confrontation between Triple H and Stephanie McMahon and Punk? Because Stephanie been throwing shots since he's been gone, and I haven't forgot about that. You remember that? Remember that UFC fight jab that she made? She had her foot on his neck for years while he was gone. There needs to be a confrontation before he moves on to Cody. I would love to see some mic work between them. I feel like this shit would be hilarious, good television.
I mean, there's so much there. It's fucking gold. That's what I'm saying. I think CM Punk going back to the WWE is fucking amazing. I think that would be, like I said, a shot in the arm. That's what WWE needs. WWE needs. It needs a little controversy, because controversy creates cash, right?
Yeah, it does. It has its double-edged sword, though. So it all depends. I mean, right now,
it does. They just got to keep this guy in fucking check, which I think he can. You know what I'm saying? Yeah,
that's up to him. That's really up to him if he's willing to take that, because we don't know, how mentioned about his attitude. That's the only problem, So we just have to wait to see how that turns out. But first, we have to see if he literally gets bought out, because they're saying the backstage roster of AEW are willing to make amends as long as if he apologizes and move forward. Well, he should do that. If he is going to stay with AEW, make amends with everybody in the locker room, apologize to everyone, and move forward. Because you pretty much, you were the representative of the company. You make the product look really, really bad. So, I mean, he needs to do that and make amends with everybody.
You're cutting
If he
out
plans
on
to
my
stay
end. I heard make
with
amends.
AEW. But
Oh yeah, you're cutting out a little bit.
yes,
But
Yeah.
make
I
amends.
think we got.
Oh, God.
Yeah, no, I'm saying we got the gist of
All
what
right,
you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But do you think there's
So, I mean-
actually do you think there's a small possibility CM Punk stays with AEW?
For
It
what?
could be, because you can make this a story too. You can literally
Right.
take this elite story with CM Punk as well. But the problem is, I wouldn't rush it.
Mm-mm. If I'm Tony Khan,
You have to
if
let
I'm
it take its
fucking
course.
Tony Khan and I'm bringing this man back, you're getting jobbed on Dark. I don't give a fuck. After all the shit you put me through.
No, yeah, I'm with you on that. I
Putting
don't.
through hell.
I'm with you on that. But I'm saying that. But at the same
Right.
time, use it as a story. Might as well. I mean, we were talking about controversy makes cash, right? That is one you can use, but don't rush it. Take its time, because if you're rushing it, then all this time us fans will think that it was a work the whole fucking time. So you really wanted to take it slowly and develop that into a story, which you can. There's a possibility you can do that.
I just
So, it all
also
depends.
feel like they're doing such a good job without him and without the elite there. Like, we're seeing more faces on television. The storylines we got now are actually, in my personal opinion, a lot better than the ones that we had going into All Out. To me, they've been more engaging. Especially the shit that's going on with MJF and Regal. Whew! That was an amazing promo.
Oh yes.
Yes.
Well, thank you for taking us into that segue, because that's where I definitely wanted to jump next.
Oh yeah, hell yeah! What? Like, I was trying my hardest to keep up with watching NXT and AEW at the same time, but that promo took away my whole entire attention, bro. Like, it just had me fully engaged, because I never thought in a million one years that MJF could be booked as a babyface, and the way they went about it was just so elaborate, because they gave us something that we never seen before, and that was a piece of vulnerability, with him admitting that he almost wanted to kill himself because of rejection. Like, this man is known for just coming out and just shitting on everyone's parade and always getting the last word. Regal left this man speechless and broke him that night. And the way they also handled it with the Hangman situation that went on, considering that was a very scary botch that happened, and I know that was just thrown in last minute. That was brilliant storytelling, with the way they decided to fake bring in the ref as if MJF's going to cash in, because he said he wanted to prove Regal right. Sorry, not prove Regal right, and he wanted to earn it. That I thought was amazing too, because not for nothing, he's great on the mic, he's great in the ring, but he hasn't won anything by himself. He won most things through Wardlow. So I love the way that they ended off the show by him saying that I'm going to earn it, because now when he does win that belt, I feel like the crowd is going to pop like crazy. I never just had thought in a million years that you could just convert someone that's a nasty chicken shit heel to being the most over baby face in the entire company. That single piece of character development, I just felt did so much for him. It did so much for the show. It did so much for the angle. With Regal too, I just love how he's one of the best heels in this generation of wrestlers, and I just feel as though that the way that those two paired together was just amazing. It made everyone look good, and it honestly is the perfect distraction that we needed from all the fuckery that's been happening off screen between the whole medium scrum thing. Things going on with Eddie Kingston here, this thing going on with Thunder Rosa over here. This was the perfect distraction that we needed. I felt like it had everyone engaged and focused on what we should be focusing on: the show, the content, the delivery. So I was in love with that segment from top to bottom, left to right. It was the best fucking thing. And I stopped watching AEW for a couple weeks now, just because I wasn't really engaged, especially with all the bullshit that's been going on. But that literally grabbed all of my attention. I physically cannot wait to see what they have in store for Full Gear. I'm not sure how you guys feel about it, but I'm literally on my toes, just anxious and excited to see how they're going to handle this. What do you guys think about it?
Ivan, you go ahead.
Oh man, I said this last Thursday on our flagship show. Every Thursday we go live. I spoke about this, and I said this, and I know I'm gonna get shitted on, but I'm gonna say it right now. Once again, William Regal will turn on BCC and will join with MJF. That's what's gonna happen. William Regal will be the one joining MJF. He's gonna turn his back on BCC. I see that happen because the messages that I saw on that promo, and then
You're cutting out completely on my end. I got a long pause.
Yeah, Ivan, you cut out.
Ivan.
Yeah, I think we might have lost him for. Did we lose him? Are you back?
I heard some noise, but
yeah.
Yeah, your camera's completely frozen on my end, and
Yes,
I don't hear much sound feedback.
You might have to leave the studio and come back. That might help.
How about now?
You still cut out.
You got to exit and come back. It's very laggy.
Give me a minute.
Okay.
But you want to pick up for where he left off? Maybe.
I can't wait to really talk about this because it's kind of a interesting concept that he has with this. But I don't think Tony Khan is that good of a storyteller, so I don't see this happening. Like, it would be fucking amazing if Regal ends up joining MJF, but Tony Khan's not that good. This is not going to. It would be awesome, but it's not going to happen.
Well, didn't he promote a few people? Like, didn't Chris Jericho this week in the news got like promoted?
Yeah, he got like an extended contract or something.
I thought they added something else to his deal. Where no,
I'm not sure. Maybe Ivan knows. He might. I mean, he might have like some, maybe an office job or something. But
an office job.
I don't know about
those. Like some people, I feel like within AEW that are seasoned veterans, such as Regal or like a Chris Jericho or whatnot. I feel as though like Tony Khan should just let them kind of book on their own. Like they have the experience, they know what would make a good storyline or not. Ivan, can you pick up back on your point because that was juicy? Like I was fully like in it.
And okay, I'm ready to go at it because I can't wait to hear this. But go ahead.
But you guys can hear me better. Hopefully you can.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. It's a little clearer. Go ahead.
Okay. But yeah, like I was saying, that I think Regal will be the one turning his back on BCC and align himself with MJF. Because like I said, I mean, I was mentioning he gave him the chip towards the end of the show. Why would you hand over William Regal the chip? And also with the promo as well. So that's why I'm paying attention what is happening here. And not only that, but this could be the beginning of the dismantle for BCC. You already saw it earlier with Wheeler Yuta, Bryan Danielson, excuse me. And then, you know, Moxie's supposed to be taking a vacation, but he's not. That's why they hired his wife to be, hey, you know what? We were sorry. We took away your husband's time, but it was going to give you a job. And then you guys can be together.
Someone got to pay the bills. So, Renee.
Yep. Exactly. So I see that happening here. I mean, mind you, this is not the first time that MJF has done this type of storyline. He's done this before. He had us all like, oh, feeling so bad for him. And towards the end, you know, that's why he says he's the devil. That's what he said for that reason. So as much as they want him to be a face, I don't think he's going to be a face. He's going to be just the same heel, but I think he's more like in the middle. He's just more worried about himself. He's not worried about others. And, you know, mind you that he wants to earn it. I'm excited too. I'm invested. I mean, mind you, his previous match that he had against Wheeler, he won clean. His first match that he won clean. He did not cheat at all. So like I said, I'm invested, but something tells me that William Regal's going to turn his back on the whole BCC, and that's when the whole is going to dismantle from there. I just have that feeling. Something tells me that's going to happen, but I'm really excited for this match, for this feud at all. Everything.
It sounds like a great storyline, but I think you're giving Tony Khan a little too much credit because I don't see this.
I don't. It's not. But here's the thing: this is not Tony Khan. This is Jon Moxley we're talking about. Remember, he's the one who's actually is coaching and getting the story together along with MJF. They're just getting his approval, mind you that. So this ain't Tony Khan's booking right here that we're seeing. You can tell it's not. This is all Moxley and MJF together writing the story. So that's what I see is what they're doing. I'm not giving credit to TK at all. He's the one who just makes the final yes or no. And so obviously he's going with it. He has no other option to go with it. But I'm not giving him the credit. I'll give obviously the talent the credit because they're the ones who are putting the story together. He's not.
It sounds like a good story, but I just don't see it happening, man. The whole the BCC thing or whatever the fuck they're called. Like, you think they would break these guys up already? I mean, they're not even, they haven't even been around for a year. Like this faction, and this faction's pretty great. I don't see why they would break these guys up already.
I'm with you too. I'm with you. The only thing that really changed my mind was what changed my mind about this is with the whole Garcia situation. Mm-hmm. And it kind of changed my mind a little bit, which, by the way, I do like that story too, which I'm hoping with the Garcia situation and Jericho's Appreciation Society, I hope Garcia, I think he's going to be a lone wolf in this story. He's going to turn his back on Jazz as well. He's going to be the pinnacle of Ring of Honor once they have their own, their own show, which is coming. It's going to be announced anyways. It's by December 10th. It's going to, after that event happens, Tony Khan's going to announce that they finally got their own platform starting in January. What way to book it? Either have Jericho still as a champ or have Garcia the one dethroning Jericho. I like that storyline so far. I'm invested in that one too.
Instead of putting ROH on TV, why not just put your money where your mouth is and go toe to toe with WWE on Monday night? Why not?
There's no way he'll win. We already come on. Why would you want to go head to head with someone for 3 hours and knowing that their demographics and everything of viewership is very perfect where it is? It doesn't go up as much. It doesn't go down as much. It stays in the middle. Dynamite has obviously Wednesday the platform, which, I mean, you have, they're always top 10, top 15 overall. The same like WWE. They're the same. Last week they went head to head Tuesday. NXT versus AEW, and they were both in the top 15. And who won it in the demographics? Of course, AEW. They had a 720, 18 to 49. I forgot how much was that. I think, so they were number 8, and NXT was number 12. So 640 it was for them.
Yeah, but Tony Khan keeps running his mouth, and he went on Twitter to celebrate beating NXT. So it's your number 1 show versus their number 3 show. It's not really, it doesn't really earn you bragging rights in my view. And Triple H said it a while back. He's like, congratulations, you beat our development show. You know what I'm saying? So it's like Tony Khan keeps bragging, and it's like, if you got all this pull with the network and you want to do TV shows, I personally don't want to see an ROH show. But I would love to see Dynamite go toe-to-toe with Monday Night Raw. Yeah, they're not going to beat them at first, but guess what? They're going to push WWE. WWE's going to push AEW. He just needs to fucking rip the Band-Aid off and do what Eric Bischoff did many years ago and just go head-to-head.
There's no need for what? I mean, if you're going to you're going to have Tony Khan try to go against a global market like WWE. There's no way. I love pro wrestling overall, everything, all promotions. But let's be realistic here. You are going to go head to toe against the number 1 global market in professional wrestling, WWE. Monday Night Wars with them. You're already going with them against on Friday, basically. Rampage, SmackDown. They're right after, even though they're not within the same hours, but they're right after. But still, I mean, they're still kind of going toe to toe because who's going to stay up at 11 o'clock Eastern time watching Rampage right after SmackDown? See, you got to think about that too. So that's something that he needs. TK needs to. He needs to focus on a lot of shit in AEW structure, women's division, storytelling, and Ring of Honor. That's where he needs to focus. Not worry about WWE. Let them do what they need to do. Worried about your roster. Worried about the women's division. Worried about Ring of Honor, and that's it.
Then he needs to stop running his mouth, right?
Well, I mean, let him be. Let him be. Because the more he does that, the more we're giving him the attention. Right. And for what? We already know, Papa H is doing wonders right now. He's doing wonders right now. He's been successful. Clash of the Castle was successful for me. Extreme Rules was successful, whether people like it or not. I liked it. I enjoyed it. To each and everybody, to each their own cup of tea. NXT was great. That was under Shawn Michaels, of course. It was a great show. I kudos to the talent. I don't know. I don't follow NXT completely, but my other co-hosts, they do. But I mean, I see a couple of them that I do know of. But I'm happy that things are turning around and it's in a positive matter. And look at where's Vince McMahon. We're not even talking about Vince McMahon. You see, it's all gone now. We're moving forward into the future of these stars, and that's where TK should focus on your future of the product and build that instead of worrying about what others are doing. Worried about what you do, because that's where we, the fans, are the ones taking our time to put that channel on, and we're the ones that are spending the money to go to the show. That's where you got to worry about putting ads on those seats.
Absolutely. Well, Mo brought something up earlier talking about the Hangman Page match. And I want to bring something up because I just read a story. Somebody was talking about Athena, who was former WWE superstar Ember Moon. And AEW, they've had a real issue with injuries. Now, I know injuries happen, but here's a couple things that really got my attention. Somebody was saying that Athena is having an issue because she works too stiff. And, there's just been a number of different people that have been brought up that either they're working too stiff or they're not safe enough in the ring. AEW has definitely had the injury bug for quite a while. Now, I guess Tony Khan and his lawyers are trying to scrub the internet of moves that get botched, people getting injured. Like, they're actually seeing that this is a kind of a big deal. They want to scrub the entire internet. I don't know how they're going to do this, but when you're a billionaire, I guess you have those kind of resources. Are they not being safe enough in AEW? I want to know both of your guys' opinions because a lot of people have been injured. There's been quite a few botches. I personally think Jade Cargill is still very green in the ring. She works extremely stiff, and I don't know. Like, is there some kind of protocol that needs to be, implemented at AEW? Are you guys thinking the wrestlers are not working safe enough? I'd like to hear both of you guys on this. Mo, I want you to go first.
All right. I always thought that they were reckless in AEW because everyone's really focused on doing all these crazy behind the spots, and not everyone's trained to do those spots. Actually, even the people that are trained would be, they're more focused on having spot after spot after spot after spot, which kind of takes away from the match, takes away from the move, B, because, a spot is supposed to be like a highlight of the show. And they're so busy trying to get so many moves out, back to back to back that are crazy, that are over the top, that are dangerous, that, yeah, I do think that they could be reckless and aimless. Now, as far as the women go, I do feel like majority of the women are fucking green. Majority are. In terms of the Ember Moon match, I'm gonna be honest, when I went through my Twitter feed, I saw a lot of discourse about it, and I saw that some piece of information that female that was going against Ember Moon, I think was her name Jody or something, I forgot what her name was, but they were saying that that's how she normally works and that's how she normally sells, and that fans that were in the crowd taking videos and pictures said that it really wasn't as stiff as what the camera shot made it look like. She was just selling very stiff because that's what she wanted, And at the end of the day, a lot of us have not laced up a pair of ring boots or been in the ring or went to wrestling school. So a lot of people do be talking out of their asses when they're saying that, oh, this person is too stiff. Now, as far as the injuries goes and stuff like that, yeah, I do think that some of the wrestlers are pretty reckless. Not all, but some. You mentioned Jade. She's definitely a very stiff wrestler. People complaining about the way Thunder Rosa wrestles, that she's very stiff. You know, we had a fucking champion for God knows how long, Britt Baker. She was absolutely stiff. You got people who were made of glass, like fucking CM Punk. But when you look at the situation with Hangman when you look at the situation with Hangman and Mox, I don't look at that as them both being reckless, because let's be honest, when it comes to wrestling, you could get hurt off of anything. I made this joke on the show, but fucking Vince blew out both his quads walking inside of the ring. Like, you literally could get hurt doing absolutely everything. It is a 2-person job, and they got a lot of jobs on top of memorizing spots, timing, cues, your character, and all that other stuff. How trying to get all this stuff in on a time slot. They got a lot of stress on them. The fact that something like this happened and it's not common on both gentlemen's ends for botches like that to happen, honestly, like I'm happy that Hangman's fine and everything. I just personally didn't see it as such a big deal and make that connection that, oh my gosh, all AEW wrestlers are reckless, because just like something is bound to happen. There's some wrestlers that have a clean record, and that's great for them, but out of all those hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of matches, all right, like one thing's probably going to happen. And a lariat's very hard to pull off, because you got to look like you're coming in with a hard clothesline, and the person coming in has to know how to sell that shit aggressively. I think he tried to, make an aggressive backflip, but too late. He got knocked in the throat and he landed on his fucking head and concussed himself. Boom. Like, it only takes like the smallest, timing being off for something bad like that to happen. But what I feel like could solve a lot of this with AEW is having their own developmental, which I don't know why they refuse to have that. I don't see, like, why would you want to set people up like that to go wrestle in front of hundreds of people with barely any, like, ring experience, because it's just like, it's bad for the talent you're trying to get over. It's bad for the person taking it because they're more at risk. You know what I mean? It makes your show look like a developmental show, which is what I kind of see partially when I watch it. I see the main stars and the seasoned veterans, and I'll watch their match with a different set of eyes. And I got myself conditioned to a point where, because most of the women are fucking green, that when I watch them, I'm not expecting very much out of them, which is pretty fucked up coming from a female watching something. But that's how I feel, because like, they don't train them. And I spoke to talent before about how they run things back with the women. They don't have much guidance for the female wrestlers. They kind of are just going in there with no direction, and they're trying their hardest to pull off something or pull something out of their asses. So I almost feel sorry for them, because it needs more organization in general, not just for the women, just in general. Like, go get a fucking developmental arena. You have all this money. Go get a facility and just have them train there, because it's sloppy. I wouldn't say reckless, just sloppy.
Yeah. Ivan, what do you think, man?
Put it like this: it's like it's an independent circus show, but on live, big national platform television. That's what it is. But in regards for the women, book them more. That's the case. Give them more time. Give them more time in the ring. I get your point that some of them are green. I understand that. I do get your point about build a developmental system. Well, if that's the case, you're on the road twice a week. You guys don't film. Guess what they do? William Regal and Bryan Danielson, they have a little small training session with Jade. They had it with they invited other women stars, male stars to come in. You want to, develop your craft? Come on in and do it. And they do that before the doors are open to allow people. Right. I wish that they're giving the women. I want women to give them more time, and I do agree they shouldn't really have to every week. They don't need to put, do a high flying spot or a high spot. It doesn't have to be that way. This is why you add a little sports entertainment to it. Because we grew up, myself, I don't know. This is speaking for myself. I apologize. I'm not trying to speak for Tony, but I grew up more for, during the golden era days, or even, seeing AWA days. I seen all of that. A body slam, and you get pissed off because you see, but oh my God, there's the entertainment. The guy who's telling it, the guy who's telling you the story, is the one that, oh my God, he body slammed him. I fucking hate him. Fuck that guy. That's what AEW's missing. It's a little bit of that sports entertainment. Which you're right. It doesn't have to be every week a high spot every time. It doesn't have to be that. I agree 100%. At least here and there, do a basic suplex, a basic clothesline, a headlock, but sell it. Tell the story.
Right.
Get the fans to be the who's the heel, who's the face. That's how you tell the story. But it doesn't have to be a high spot move every week. That's why. Then tell me this: why is there agents in? You have Malenko, you have Jerry Lynn, you have Arn Anderson.
Right.
They should know better, right? They're the ones.
They should,
right?
Right. Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure our boy TK. No, you guys can do what you guys want. This is where the injury prone happens. Shane, she has the charisma. She needs more ring time. She doesn't really have that. Tell me when was the last time they really booked her really, really more, or even on Elevation or Dark. Tell me when. I really haven't seen much of her. And she's your TBS champion. This is why every time in my flagship show, I digress about the women. I fight for women because I want them to get their time. And they absolutely deserve that. So they deserve that. And so it's bad booking. It's just absolutely bad booking. And I just hope that like Ray Phoenix, every week there's always a fucking high spot, but then he always gets injured somehow. So I kind of wish they could tone it down a bit. It doesn't have to be all every week. And the same goes for the women. It doesn't have to be all the time. But in order to build chemistry, hey, book them every week then. Book them every time so they can get to know each other more in the ring than just once a week or like a 5-man or 6-man tag team. No. Singles. Give me 2 matches, Dynamite, women, every Wednesday. Right. Give me 2 matches in there on their page. So,
Yeah, I mean, they definitely got to make some changes. And, the high spots, they're cool, but, like, they start to lose their effect. They lose their luster. When you're seeing it every fucking show, you almost become, me personally, I become desensitized to it. I'm like, I want to see some story. Yeah, like, I want to see some fucking story.
I was exhausted like in the beginning of AEW because they were trying to push tag teams on purpose because that's like an anti-Vinceism, to push tag teams. But they overkilled it with the fucking spots, bro. It was like back to back to back, and then things that they weren't even selling it. They would like do like a 450 moon splash off of the fucking apron. I don't know, backflip, something, Spanish fly, something, and the opponent would get up. And it's just like in WWE world, someone would sell the fuck out of that, and there would be an instant replay, and the person is still selling on the fucking floor. It's like, what is the point of these back to back spots? Right. To show that you're athletic? Like, that just means your arsenal sucks, to be honest.
Right.
No, think about it. Think about a fighting game. If you have to sit there, would you choose a character that has about 30 fucking moves and it has like one point deduction of health? Or would you choose the person that's like John Cena with your 5 or 6 moves of doom? And they take down like 20%. I'm just saying, like, that's the way I look at it as a fan. Like, I feel desensitized just like you because it's so illogical and stupid. And it's like you're hurting yourself for what? For what? I'm sorry, go on with your rant. So I had to get that out.
No, it's all good. But hey, on that note, we're coming to the end of the show. I appreciate you guys both being on. Ivan, thank you so much. We love the Circle of Debate. You guys got a show. You guys are like the CNN of wrestling podcasts, You guys are on 24/7. 24/7.
Now I want to say 24/7. We just speak a lot. I mean, normally, we have Wrestling DeLorean Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Right. We do have
plug away, man. Plug away. Tell my audience where to find you guys.
Yes, I want
to find you. At Circle Debate, on YouTube, all audio platforms, social media at Circle Debate, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. We do have also the Wrestling DeLorean podcast, which is Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, 8:00 Eastern time. And then Tuesdays, we normally have our New Japan shows, and that's where we talk about New Japan strictly, mainly. But this week, we're not going to have nothing because there's nothing coming up until the following week. as we were updating the TV tournament for that, since they're crowning a new TV champion. Wednesdays we do have our MMA recap shows, for UFC 280, which we're going to talk about that this Wednesday. Thursdays our flagship shows, of course, and Fridays our top fives. So, yeah, we're on 5 days a week, you could say.
Awesome, man. Well, thank you so much for being on. Thank you for always showing us love every Sunday. Thank you so much to Mo from the Culture 316 podcast. She has filled in as my lovely co-host for the past few weeks while Liz has been on vacation. Mo, tell everybody where to find you at.
You guys can find me on Twitter. It's Edges Throco. I normally have my handle here, but we didn't talk about the show last night, so that doesn't make any sense. You can find me at Edges Throco on Twitter. You can find me on Instagram. That's just Mo. And you can check out the podcast, Culture 316. You can find us on YouTube. You can find us on Instagram. You can find us on Twitter. And we're on TikTok now, guys. So check us out.
Oh, busting out dances on TikTok?
I should. I most definitely should.
You got to get Ivan on there with you. Ivan got some rhythm.
Give me a couple cocktails, and then I'll loosen up a little bit. How about that?
There you go. Well, Mo, thank you so much. Ivan, thank you so much. Hey, next week is our 50th episode. And it's not only our 50th episode, but it's our Halloween episode. It's the day before Halloween. And I'm originally from Detroit, and the night before Halloween is Devil's Night. So Liz is trying to get me to dress up. I think we might be dressed up. Mo, if you're around, Ivan, I would love you guys to pop on even for just a minute because, like I said, it's our 50th episode. I got a ton of guests that are just going to be popping on and showing up. So I'm excited. It'll be a fun show.
Can I wear a costume?
You can wear whatever you want.
Yes.
I encourage it. Yes.
Well, you'll be seeing us on Thursday. On Thursday, we'll be dressed up too. Coming up next
Really?
Thursday.
What you gonna wear? Wait, no. Actually, I don't want to spoil the surprise.
Don't spoil it. Don't spoil it. But hey, thank you again for joining us. I'm your host, Tony Twist's ATW All Things Wrestling podcast. You can find us every Sunday live on YouTube, 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern. You can find us on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. We are not on TikTok because I do not dance. But yeah. You can find us on all the audio platforms, iTunes podcast, Spotify, iHeartRadio. Find us at your grandma's house, your neighbor's house. We're everywhere. House. So, yeah, we're all over the place. We're worldwide. We're not 24/7. We're not 24/7 like Circle Debate, but we're everywhere.
Yeah, they don't like.
But hey, guys, thank you so much for joining us. That's gonna do it for today. I'm your host, Tony Twist. Mo, thanks for joining. Ivan, and we're out of here.